One happy Monday. Hope you all had a lovely weekend. We're back into the official working week. And this morning, I'm going to talk about happiness in general. How happy are you? Are you predominantly happy? Like for the majority of the time, you're a happy person? Are you somewhere in the middle? Or are you down the other end and you find it a little bit hard to be happy on a consistent basis as well? Because there's always stuff going on in our lives, isn't there? There's always something that's happening, and we can be cruising along. It can be really rocky at some stages, and then there can be times where life is really just throwing a lot of stuff at us, and it seems like it's relentless. And I'm going to talk today about how to identify, is it stuff that is just life happening? Is it deeper than that? Is it a recurring pattern? These are the sorts of things I want you to really have a look at, because what I've been talking about with the whole law of attraction is that you can create your own reality. However, sometimes we can get into these patterns where we are more prone. I'm just going to turn up my volume here. We're more prone to have a specific perspective on things, and then our perspective forms our thoughts, our beliefs are involved in there, our behaviors, our past experience. Everything is in this melting pot that then results in our happiness or our level of happiness. And my personal opinion is that we are meant to be on this earth and we are meant to be happy. We're meant to enjoy the journey. We're meant to find things that make us smile, to do experiences that make us smile, to be with people who make us smile, and for us to be the people that make other people smile. Okay. And sometimes it can be hard. So I want to really dive into uncovering some of the hidden habits, the hidden beliefs, the things that you would not normally think are beliefs as well. Want to open up your perspective a little bit to have you look at things in a different way, because if you are not at the happiness level that you would like to be, or if you're settling, okay, we don't have to settle in this life either. All right. If you think, oh, yeah, I'm happy enough, there's another level that you could go to if you want to. All right. This is all obviously 100% up to you. If you're happy where you are, then stay where you are. If you're not, though, there could be something hidden underneath that I want to help you to uncover to get you to that next level. All right. So let's dive into it a little bit more. So towards the beginning, I was asking, how happy are you for most of the time? If you were to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is always unhappy and 10 is always happy. So we've got the two extremes, unhappy and happy. All right. Where would you rate yourself? And I know that it can change from day to day, but on average, what would you say? Where would you be? Like, I would think I'd be around an 8. Okay. And if someone else was to describe you, where would they say you would sit on that scale? Because sometimes we can't even see ourselves as well. And what do you guys believe about being happy? Do you believe it is even possible? Do you believe it's something that comes and goes? Do you believe that it's actually impossible? My belief I shared with you earlier, I believe we are put on this planet to be happy for the majority of the time. Now, of course, we cannot be happy 24/7. That is impossible. It's not reality. And it's also, you do want to have some contrast in your life. If you didn't know what it was like to feel sad, you wouldn't know what it was like to be happy. Okay. If you didn't know the things that made you feel off, you wouldn't know how to correct your course. Okay. If you didn't know that you didn't like, I don't know, riding a bike, then you wouldn't know to not do that. Is this making sense? We want the contrast. The contrast is good because it tells us when we're going off track. It also tells us when we need to have a little bit more clarity in our life, okay? And by the way, whatever you believe is correct. This is the good thing with beliefs. Whatever you believe is right for you. And if you're not happy with your beliefs, you can change them, because beliefs are simply words that we've been having on repeat, whether it was when we were growing up and we kept hearing them from the people around us, whether it's something else that we heard from someone else and we've gone, yeah, I like that, and we've taken on that belief. Okay, whatever you believe about your level of happiness, whether it's possible, whether you want more, whether you want to stay the same, is completely fine, because it is your life, your belief. So the question is, though, are you happy with how you are? Are you happy with how your life is? Now, I want to share a little story here. It was when, oh gosh, it was quite a while ago now, and the kids were still quite young. I think I might have had 2 in primary school, 1 at home. But I remember distinctly waking up one day and just realizing that I hated who I'd become. I hated my life. And that was a really hard thing for me to admit back then, because I still have an amazing husband, and he was very supportive, and these 3 little kids who I did love, and I wanted to be a mum, and I wanted to be a stay-at-home mum. That was really important to me. I didn't like who I was, though, in that moment. And it was from, it didn't just happen overnight. It happened over a period of however many years, where I started to become really unhappy. All right. I was very much in blame mode. I was very much in that angry, snappy, like no one could do anything right. I couldn't do anything right either. In my own mind, no one was telling me I couldn't do it. I was telling me that I couldn't do anything right. I was comparing. It was all of those things. But I remember waking up one day thinking, I hate who I've become. It wasn't I didn't like it. I hated who I had become. I hated how my life was. It wasn't how I wanted my life to be. And I was very, very unhappy. All right. But that was a good day, because it brought everything into my awareness. And it was from there that I was then able to do something about it. I was able to make some changes in my life. Okay. And this is what everyone needs to get to that point themselves. Okay, we can bitch and moan, and I did a lot of that. I spent many years bitching and moaning and pointing fingers and all of that sort of thing. If they just did what they were meant to do, and if they did this and they did that, then I would be happy. And that's a completely powerless place to be. So that's why I say that day that I woke up and realized that I hated my life, I hated who I was, it was a good day, because it brought it into my awareness, and then I was able to do something about it. So you'll get there when you get there, okay? And maybe it doesn't have to be that extreme either. It's all about making that decision. And when you make the decision, that's a good thing. So today, though, I want to talk about how to maybe uncover some of those hidden beliefs that are stopping you from being happy more than not, okay? More often than you're not, because we can't always see ourselves either. All right. I'm also going to talk about how the universal laws fit in to how they work with our beliefs. They will perpetuate whatever it is that we're believing, whatever it is we're focused on. The universal laws are always on, and they're always going to be perpetuating our focus. So whether we're focused on what we want or what we don't want, it's perpetuating it. Okay. And then I'm going to end with some practical steps to keep the momentum going in the way that you want it, or show you how to change the direction if it's not the direction that you want it to go. So let us start with, we'll take a little step back. I want to start with where our beliefs are formed and how our beliefs are formed. So when we're in that 0 to 7 age bracket, right, we are basically walking around unconscious. We're these little sponges, and we're just taking in everything that we see, all right? We're just taking it in, taking it in, taking it in. And a lot of the time we don't question anything because we don't have that emotional maturity, we don't have the experience. Okay, so we're taking it all in. So our beliefs are formed at a very young age, and because we're taking it in so much, they stick. Okay, now beliefs are simply words that you have on repeat. So whether it's somebody else repeating it to you all the time, or whether it's yourself repeating it in your head, okay, they start to form our beliefs. All right. Now, if it was in that 0 to 7 age group, you don't question it, you just take it on. So if you were living in a household where there was anxiety, where there was maybe fear, and you heard things like, I think of that Rapunzel movie, and she keeps her in the tower and she's saying, the world is a dark and dangerous place, or whatever she says to her, to, to instill that fear so she won't leave the tower, right? Now, our parents are not necessarily doing it because of that reason. They do it because of how they have grown up and their experiences and what they heard as children. Okay, so these cycles perpetuate. If you heard, you can't trust people, or if you're perhaps someone who expects things to go wrong, you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. Murphy's Law, everything that could go wrong does go wrong, sort of thing. If you're one of those people who expects the worst, or you feel life is hard, or you believe maybe that you're cursed, or nothing ever goes right for you. These are things that have formed through those early years. And then because of the universal laws, this is what your RAS as well has been trained to focus on. You get evidence to support that. So there are untrustworthy people. There are things that go wrong all the time. There is evidence to support your beliefs. So that sort of cements them in a little bit. Okay. And then because you've got that evidence and it's cementing them in, it affects your vibration. So somebody who doesn't trust people, or feels that life is hard, is resonating at that lower vibration, okay, which affects how you think, how you feel, how you speak, who you hang out with, what you do, what you don't do, because everything has the vibration. So then the law of attraction is attracting more people, events, circumstances to match the vibration, okay? It's not literal either. It's matching the vibration to bring more things into your life to give you evidence. See, I told you so. Nothing ever works for me. Or see, I told you so. You can't trust people. So this evidence then is reinforcing your belief. So can you see how the cycle keeps going? It keeps perpetuating. All right. So I've got, if you hear yourself saying things like, knowing my luck, blah, blah, blah is going to happen. Or if something happens and you find yourself saying, see, told you so, told you that would happen, told you it wouldn't work, told you it wouldn't last. These are indicators that you have these beliefs going on. And when someone says that you have a belief that everything will go wrong, this is where we can sometimes say, well, no, I don't. Everything does go wrong. All right. It's not a belief, it is reality. This is how your reality is shaped. So this is how it is formed. Okay. Is this making sense? So we get onto that cycle that continues until you become aware of it, until you recognize that, oh, yeah, I do say that a lot. I do often find myself looking for the worst, or I do often say, not even to myself, but to other people, see, I told you it wouldn't work. I told you it'd be shit. I knew that would happen. I knew it wouldn't last. Should have known. Don't even bother trying. Should have known it wouldn't have worked out. So if you're recognizing those words, there is that underlying belief. Now, it's not just when things go wrong as well. It's also when things go right. Okay. What is your default when things go right? Do you celebrate the win? Do you acknowledge it and go, oh, that was awesome. That went really well. Or do you go, oh, yeah, but, and immediately find the thing that was wrong with it, find something negative to focus on? Okay, so that's another indication you've got these hidden beliefs. All right. Now, the law of polarity, it's not all bad news, okay? Awareness is the first step. Be aware of your language, be aware this is what you do. Now, the law of polarity tells us that everything is two things, okay? Up, down, black, white, hot, cold, happy, sad. We need the polarity. That's what I was saying at the beginning. We need to have that polarity in our life. But we get to choose what we focus on and for how long. And we get to choose that in every event, okay? Every moment. And every event and every moment is going to be different for you. The length of time that you're in something and focused on what's happened and feeling all the negative sads, it's going to be different for the different events. And only you know how long is right, okay? Because there is no real right or wrong. Yes, breaking cycles is difficult without awareness. That's exactly right. Exactly right, Cheryl. You've got to have that awareness. Until you have that awareness, there's nothing you can do about it. So, let me just turn that off. Okay. So you get to choose, though, how long you focus on the negative side of the positive. I'm just going to call it negative and positive just for ease of explanation. But there is, it's not that black and white, and we all know that. So you get to choose how long you focus on the negative end of the stick, okay? Understanding that what we focus on causes us to vibrate at a certain frequency. What we are vibrating then determines what we are attracting into our life, okay? And I said before, it's not tit for tat, it's not literal. It is things that vibrate at the same frequency, okay? If you think of feeling happy, you're vibrating at the happy sort of vibration. There's lots of things that make you feel happy. You could be with a friend, you could watch a funny video, you could be listening to a song, you could be seeing a puppy playing. I don't know. There's lots of different things that vibrate at that frequency. So what you're bringing into your into your world and the vibration is going to be very varied. Okay. So knowing that what you focus on affects how you are vibrating, and how you're vibrating then affects what comes into your life, you get to choose how long you actually stay focused on a specific thing. It's like if you were listening to, I don't know, what's a radio station? We're just going to call it Happy Hits FM, okay? On that channel, there's going to be lots of different songs that look and sound very different to each other. However, they make you feel happy. Okay. Now, if you change the channel and you tune your dial into Sad FM, the songs that are playing on that station are going to sound very different to each other, but they will all keep you in that sad feeling. Okay. Now, just like with the radio dial, you get to choose how long you stay on Sad FM before you turn it back to, what do I call it? Happy hits of the 80s or whatever. You get to choose. Don't feel, though, that you can't be on Sad FM for as long as you want to be on Sad FM, though. Okay, this is really important. Never deny your feelings. We need to feel them. We need to process them. As I said earlier, it tells us when we need to maybe make a change in our life, or get ourselves back on track, or get some clarity around what it is that we want. So all the feels are good, okay? You get to choose how long you stay in each of the feels. And that's the happy feels as well. You get to choose how long you stay on Happy Hits before you change it over to Sad FM, okay? And this is what I want you guys to really understand. You get to choose, all right? And that is incredibly empowering. So let's move this along a little bit. I want to give you some practical steps, okay? Now, the first one I've already talked about is that awareness. So recognizing your language. What are the things you keep hearing yourself say? Okay, sometimes this can be the hardest part because we don't actually hear ourselves. We often just walk around so unconscious, it's out of our mouth before we even realize what we've said, because we've been doing it for so long, okay? So start to become aware of your language. Do you expect the worst? Do you find yourself going, oh, should have known, that'd be right? That always happens. It always goes bleh, bleh. Become aware and be very honest in this. There is zero judgment, though. This is awareness. This is not about judgy-wudgy. This is simply awareness. Until you are aware there's a problem, you cannot do anything about it, okay? Also be very aware of the words that come out after I would, but I can't because. The words that come after those two little prefixes are often limiting beliefs, okay? And then when you become aware of these things, question them. All right? Is that really true? Are things always going wrong? Okay? Or is it just a thought habit that I've fallen into? It's not always. Always is 24/7. There might be 5 minutes out of that time where things actually go right. So question your beliefs. Because the thing with beliefs, for every belief you have, there is at least one person on this planet who has the complete opposite belief, and they have evidence to support their belief as well. So when you're in that questioning mode, just think, is it possible that there's, somebody else out there who thinks differently to me? Is it possible? And that's as far as you have to go, if that's as far as you can go. If you want to go more, then, go to that next step. Do they have evidence to support their belief? Well, yeah. If they're a really happy, positive person, they've got very different beliefs to somebody who is not. Okay? And then question, is this belief that I've got, or beliefs, or habits, whatever you want to label them, it doesn't matter. Is this collection of things, thoughts, behaviors, patterns, are they making my life better or worse? Does it make me smile more or less? Is it easier or harder? And then do I want to keep it? Do I want to keep things going? Keep the status quo? Or do I want to change it because I want more or I want different in my life? So these are the questions that only you can answer, though. And you will answer them and you will take the action when it is right for you, okay? Everyone has that time. You can't make someone change something when they're not ready. And that goes for you as well. All right. So then when you've got this awareness and you've got this thought, okay, well, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to change it. Then you can reframe your beliefs. Now, some of them are going to be easy to do. Some of them are going to need to be done in stages, okay? And it depends what the belief is. It depends on, your past experiences and all of that stuff and how deep-seated they are. And maybe you need some help, all right? And there's nothing wrong with getting help either. So you do what you need to do for you. So to give you some examples of what I mean by it can be done in stages. So if I'm thinking of the examples I gave you earlier, let me keep an eye on the time here. Yeah. So the one I gave you earlier was with Rapunzel, the world is a dark and dangerous place. So it could be too much to go from that belief to I am safe in the world. That leap is too big, okay? Especially if you've got a lot of evidence around the world is a dark and dangerous place. So you could start by saying, well, the world can be dangerous, but it can also be safe and fun, okay? And then maybe that goes on to the world is mostly safe. And maybe that goes on to the world is safe. And maybe it gets you to I am safe in the world. But you've got to keep at these things and changing those thought patterns into what you want in stages, because what you say also has to be at least plausible. And that's why I say do it in stages. So, if your belief is you can't trust people, maybe the next stage is, well, you can trust some people. Okay, well, sorry, you can't trust some people, but there are other people that you can trust because you possibly have that in your life. So that is plausible, all right, to take that stepping stone. Or, people in general are trustworthy. And maybe the next one could be most people have good intentions, okay? And then eventually you'll get to, I can trust people. Okay. So remember, this is using the law of polarity and choosing what end of the stick you want to focus on. The law of vibration is then going to, because when it's plausible, you're at least not at that low vibration, you're shifting your vibration up to something higher. So that law of vibration is going to kick in. Okay, when you reframe those old beliefs and you start saying them instead, and then the law of attraction is going to start bringing you more of your new focus into your reality. Okay, your RAS is going to support that. It's going to bring you that evidence to support the new belief. And when you are feeling comfortable with that, then you can move across to the next one and step it up like that. Okay, so staying on that whole trust theme, people who trust, they have more evidence in their lives to support the belief that they can trust people. Okay, so if you're at the I can't trust people, don't try and jump straight to this one straight away. Take those little stages. As you take those stages, you're going to get more evidence that people are trustworthy. Okay, and remember too, you are people. Okay, your unconscious mind doesn't know the difference. So trust yourself. Trust your decisions, trust your intuition. Go easy on yourself if you make a decision that doesn't work out. Okay. And when you do that as well, if somebody comes into your world who is untrustworthy, you're going to trust that little niggle that comes into your body wherever you feel it that says, I don't know, walk away. You may not understand it logically, but you're then trusting that, okay, to tell you to go left, not right. All right. So I'm going to, you can do that for all of your negative beliefs or all of your beliefs that are not working for you. Reframe them to what feels good when you say it, and then you tweak it until it does feel good. And you can start really, really general and then come in to be more specific as it feels good to do that. Okay. All right. And the last little tip I want to give you is to consciously look for things that are going well. And not just look for them, acknowledge them. Stop before the, oh yeah, but, it's probably going to not last. Okay. Stop before that part. Acknowledge them regardless of how big they are or how small they are. Celebrate them. Okay, because that then perpetuates your good feeling energy, and the law of attraction is then going to bring you more things to keep that momentum going. All right. Okay, I need to wrap this up because it is almost half an hour gone already. So remember, our blocks, our beliefs, they can be tricky to identify. Some are going to be easy and change. Others might be deeper. You might need someone to help you to get through them, to reframe them, to get past the past, basically. So if you are finding that it's hard to do for yourself, go and get help. It's the greatest gift that you can give yourself, okay? Go and get help. It is not a sign of weakness. It is actually a sign of strength. Just put your hand up and say, I need help, all right? You are the creator of your reality. Your beliefs, your thoughts, they shape your reality. So if something is not working for you, you are the one who gets to change it. And that in itself is exciting, okay? Imagine if it was up to someone else. No. So change your beliefs, change your thoughts, change your reality. Consistency is key though, all right? You are essentially forming a new habit. So give yourself the time and the grace to do that. You formed your current habits over the last how many years or decades. So give yourself that time. You got to keep at it because that's what you did unconsciously. You kept at it to form the bad habits. You got to, if you want to change those habits, you've got to keep at it. Give yourself some time and grace, okay? Alrighty, I'm going to leave you now with a quote from the Dalai Lama. Now, they say happiness is not something that is ready-made. It comes from your own actions. All right, everyone. I hope you've taken something away from this. Please pop a question or comment in the comments. Maybe there's something that you do that somebody else could take inspiration from. Have an amazing day, and I will see you again on Wednesday. Bye-bye.